What's up, everybody? So Virginia Giuffre just died. It's really not surprising when you look into how these things work and how deep the rabbit hole actually goes. It actually reminds me of this book that I just recently finished. I keep looking at my dog. Say hi. I just recently finished this book. It's called Eye of the Chickenhawk. I just finished another book. That was a little bit more conspiratorial. I can't say the name. I'll put the picture of the book up though. If I say the name, I'll probably get like striked on YouTube or something. I actually got the idea of that book from of reading that book from another guy, another YouTuber. I think his channel's name is Interesting Books Reviewed. He talks about a lot of banned books and books you're not really supposed to read. That book gets a little bit more conspiratorial, which is really interesting. But we don't have all the evidence for all the stuff in that book. What was I saying? Chickenhawk, right? Yeah. A lot of stuff in the book is very much fact-based, and it's all information that you can find online. It's not super conspiratorial. There's a little bit of a conspiratorial edge that the author kind of puts in there, and you know, he puts his own conclusions and reasons why he thinks that actions were taken, or why people in the book may have done what they did, or who they're linked to. But majority of the book, 99% of the book, is all readily available online. It's not conspiratorial. It's all fact. It's conspiracy fact, actually. There are a lot of suspect deaths in the book. Sort of like Virginia Giuffre, her recent death. Very sus. Just like Jeffrey Epstein and his death. Very suspect as well. And I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that with the Diddy trial coming up here pretty soon. Simon Dovey, he's the author, right? He is kind of this independent investigative journalist who links together all of these various human trafficking cases, and he puts them all in a network, all connecting to each other. There's tons of people, tons of cases involved. I can't remember them all. You have to read it yourself. It's a very interesting read. But the main bad guy in this story is a guy by the name of John David Norman. Okay, this guy lived 5 minutes down the road from John Wayne Gacy. Okay, very suspect already. He's linked to John Wayne Gacy because one of his associates, Philip Pask is his name, was under John Wayne Gacy's payroll for his construction company. So very suspect indeed. He also, interestingly, very interestingly, puts together this list of all the times that John Wayne Gacy murdered these people or abducted them. I'm not sure which one it is, maybe both. All the times that John Wayne Gacy got these young men and boys and killed them, abducted them, and he puts like a timeline down. And all the times that John David Norman was in prison, John Wayne Gacy only abducted and killed 7 people. Now, we know that John Wayne Gacy actually killed upwards 30 plus people. And all the times that John David Norman was out of prison is when the rest of these young men and boys were found to be deceased. Now, that's not to say that John David Norman killed these people. I'm sure John Wayne Gacy killed these people. But John David Norman ran a huge human trafficking ring. He would hire other people to abduct boys and young men, mostly. He also had a magazine called Hermes or Hermes. I'm not sure what the pronunciation was, but it was a child inappropriate material magazine that a lot of people were subscribed to. And the book mainly covers like the 70s to like the 2000s, mostly the 70s to the 90s. But he ran this huge ring, and there's tons of people involved and tons of cases that connect back to it. He ran this network called the Odyssey Network, and also the Delta Network, I think it's called. He also links together this guy Mark Dutroux, right? He's this, I think it was in Belgium. He was a serial killer in Belgium. He would abduct, I think it was mostly little girls, young women and young girls, and he would kidnap them, take them to his basement. He'd make snuff films on them. He killed them, and he would send these to various other people within the network as well. What's very interesting about that, I don't know if it was Mark Dutroux and the girls that were in his basement or not, but I think the girls were found to be they were hypnotized by somebody prior to being abducted by Mark Dutroux. I think that's the case. It might have been somebody else within this network, some other, I'm pretty sure it was them, yeah. They were hypnotized, and then he brings up MK Ultra, and the MK Ultra was this program that the CIA. It's confirmed, it's real. They were conducting mind control experiments. It comes from Nazi Germany. The Nazi scientists were doing all these mind control experiments, and America brought them over here to learn about mind control and everything. So that's one of the cases that he's linked to. Then you go into the North Fox Island. I forgot the guy's name in that one, but there's another guy involved in that who was a Boy Scouts leader, and he got these children to come to North Fox Island. It was kind of like a mini Epstein Island before Epstein was doing what he was doing sometime in like the 70s, I think, and this was in Michigan, North Fox Island. So it was kind of like a pedo island, like Jeffrey Epstein's. And then it connects to the Oakland County child killer, which is still an unsolved murder case to this day. I think there were 2 boys and 2 girls. The 2 boys were found to be sexually assaulted, and the girls were not. But they all ended up they were found dead, like on the side of the road. And so they're connected to John David Norman. His network is mainly operated out of Houston, Texas, I believe. And then he gets a little into the DuPont company, a little bit into Joe Biden, which is pretty crazy. Here it gets a little bit more conspiratorial, but Joe Biden's daughter claims to have been sexually assaulted at these DuPont company parties that John David Norman is linked to. And what's really suspicious about that, what's really weird, is that his son, Beau Biden, who is now deceased, didn't even attempt to prosecute any of these people that she accused, didn't attempt to go forward with any cases. Super weird stuff. But a lot of these people just, they end up dead. A lot of the people that are going to court for these people, they end up dead, whether that be in car accidents or they deem them to be an unaliving, like in the case of Virginia Giuffre. So it's really not surprising when you link together these huge networks of people and you see all these surprising deaths, these weird deaths, a lot of weird stuff involved with Hillary Clinton. He doesn't talk about the Clintons in there, but a lot of weird deaths involved with them as well. This other book that I was talking about earlier, put it up again, that I can't say the name of. There's a woman in there by the name of Kathy O'Brien. She accuses the Clintons and various presidents of being involved in these MK Ultra experiments, of making them mind controlled, right, for various presidents and political figures. But anyway, getting back to Chickenhawk, right? Also, what else did I want to say? My brain's a little scattered when I talk about this stuff. Like I said, there's just so many links in this case, so much going on. It's hard, and he just kind of briefly covers over all these cases. He doesn't go super in depth in anything. He just does the work of linking together all these cases and stuff. But anyway, going back to Mark Dutroux, right? There's a lot of weird things going on. Like the police that were investigating this case, they went to his property, right, and they heard screaming coming from the basement. I'm not sure if they knew it was coming from the basement or like what their thought process was, if they were just incompetent, inept at their job, or maybe it's something more sinister. But they just didn't investigate anymore. Well, the screams were coming from the basement while Mark Dutroux was in prison for 2 or 3 months for whatever they got him for at that time. The kids died in his basement. So there's just a lot of like weird stuff like that. Also, one of the craziest things in the book is the Finders, right? He talks about this thing called the Finders, which is so there were 2 guys, right? And the people started to notice they had children out in public, right? Young boys, and people noticed these children looked real disheveled, looked like they weren't being taken care of. So the police investigated, didn't find anything on their property or anything. I think they investigated again, and they found links to John David Norman wherever they were staying with the children. And they were found out to be, these 2 men, they were found out to be CIA assets. They were doing MK Ultra experiments on these children. That's why they looked like they were just like soulless, because like they were not themselves. They were under a hypnosis through a trauma-based mind control of these children. I don't know a whole lot about the Finders. I'd like to look more into that. That seems super interesting to me. But that's something that I wish he would talk more about. But that's probably the craziest story linking to that case. And then he ends the book by basically saying that John David Norman was most likely a CIA asset himself. And for what purpose? Usually they do a lot of this human trafficking stuff as one, a way to fund the experiments that they know that the government won't fund for them, right? So they traffic drugs, they traffic humans. This is a way to make money for their experiments and whatever else their ultimate goal is. And they're also, too, they're using these children as blackmail against powerful figures, politicians, and stuff like that, to put them in compromising positions to be like, hey, you're going to vote for this, or else this information is coming out on you. We have this information on you. We have video evidence. We have photographic evidence. So you're going to do what we say, basically, from now on. You're under our control now, Buster, is what they're saying with that. So I'd say those are the two ultimate goals, to change policy within the world, I guess, to change policy within the world, not just the United States, because this spans the globe, really. He goes over, he talks about various European and British politicians and their corruption and their role that they've played in this sex trafficking network. And what's even crazier is that this isn't the end. This is only the tip of the iceberg. He only covers like the 70s to the 2000s, and this is only what we've uncovered, what we've unearthed. Like, there's much more to this. It's still going on today. I'm sure a lot of these same people and same figures, same groups are still involved with Diddy and Epstein. And just like them, they're only the tip of the iceberg as well. There's much more to uncover. So yeah, the stuff in this book is it's definitely hard stuff to digest. It's hard to imagine that this stuff is actually going on in the world, but it is, and it's not going away. So it's important information to get out there, first of all, okay? It's important information that we should know about, we should be aware about. These aren't isolated incidents. This is a huge network. This is a huge problem. I think upwards is like 300 million children are missing in the United States a year or something. I don't know. That might be bullshit. You'll have to fact check me on that. I'm not totally sure what the number is on that. Going into the other book that I can't say the name of, it goes over it's basically just interviews with various people. One of them is Kathy O'Brien. She's a deemed conspiracy theorist, right? But this book is much more conspiratorial. We don't have solid evidence on a lot of this stuff. But he does go over Johnny Gosch, and he was this kid that was abducted in Des Moines, Iowa, sometime in the 70s, I believe. Super weird stuff with that. But his mom said that she got a knock on her door one day, and it was her son, Johnny Gosch, when he was much older. And he's saying that he was under the control of Satanists, under mind control. Super crazy stuff with that. Take that as you will. I don't know, like, how true the reasoning is behind why he was taken, or like what really even happened. Maybe these people are crazy. I don't know. That's for you to decide. But yeah, that's both super interesting books. Check them out if you can stomach that sort of thing. But yeah, crazy stuff going on out there. So be aware of it. Question everything. But yeah, both are great reads. So check them out. See ya.
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably, but it was for the good of the system in order to avoid the communists from taking over. For example, in Europe, in 47, 48, 49, the Greeks and the Italians,
we don't do that now, though. We don't mess around in other people's elections,
only for a very good cause.
Can you do that? Do a Vine video on this former CIA director.
Only for a very good cause in the interests of...
All right, thanks for being here.